Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Iron Port. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by Serene Insurance, Goal PLC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Link Network Services Limited, Maritime Port Services Limited, and Phoenix Insurance. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Iron Port is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. So this week we are taking a look at how the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority handles prohibited as well as restricted goods by way of ensuring compliance from importers. Let's take a listen.
So I want you to hit more on Section 58, which deals with the vehicles, and I suspect that's one of the most one of the issues that really you deal with at the port. What really are the challenges you face in dealing with some of these restricted and prohibited goods at the port?
The law demands that within a certain framework, you must do certain regulations. So like 58 says, don't bring in right-hand vehicles unless approved by the minister. So if you bring it in without an approval, it becomes a challenge for us, and we will be compelled to forfeit or seize the item. When it comes to restricted items, under the CET, we have the schedules that have spelled out goods that are prohibited. When you look at the sixth schedule, Part A talks about prohibited importations. There are a list, I can mention some few. You are not allowed to bring in animals and carcasses infected with diseases. You cannot bring in beads or inflammable cellulose. You cannot bring coffee, that is raw coffee, imported overland. You cannot bring in coins. You cannot bring in food that is contaminated, as declared by a health officer. We have knuckle dusters. We have scandalous literature. We have money based on counterfeit. We have obscene articles. We have weapons and dangerous articles. These things, you cannot bring them. They are totally prohibited. We have used liquefied petroleum gas cylinders. We have firecrackers, that is display shells, artillery shells. We have ball and canister shells. We have incandescent filament lamps. Recently, we added used fridges, used freezers, used air conditioning, second-hand, or used handkerchiefs. These things are prohibited by law. So when we bring them in, that one, total forfeiture. Then we have the law also talks about conditional prohibitions, which we normally call the restricted items. And some organizations are mandated to bring in certain things. So like the Foreign Exchange Act allows Bank of Ghana to bring in banknotes, bank coins. You can bring in rough diamonds, rough uncut. We have a certain organization that allows in films, cinematography, Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, goods bearing designs and imitation of money, Bank of Ghana, goods imported contrary to customs laws, goods regulated by law. You have plant and plant products, so the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, they monitor these ones. We have arms and ammunition. The Ministry of Interior handles this.
So it's obvious that the law has clearly stated.
It has.
It's clearly stated, but you still face challenges at the port. Why?
I would say it is human nature. People are into their businesses. Some may not know. Some will not know.
But that's not even an excuse. I mean, yes, ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
That is where we come in and we continuously educate the public, like through platforms like this. We come up with programs to educate them on, because some people don't really know. There was an issue where an importer went in and brought in unlabeled diapers. Diaper is not restricted, but because they are unlabeled, what the quality was stamp standard, the person does not really know in this case. And the standard authority had to destroy these goods. So some portion of ignorance can be part of it.
Okay, who would you blame for this ignorance?
I won't blame anybody because we've been around, Customs GRA has been around for a very long time, and we have been doing these apart from business people who also are bent on making their monies. So there are some people who do just find any way to make their monies. So they don't really care. We have the people like that.
I wanted you to also explain more about, because you talked about some vehicles that are just prohibited. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I know about this, like old age. If the vehicle is a certain age old, you can't bring them. I want you to elaborate more on that.
Okay, so you can bring in vehicles after when their manufacturing year has gone beyond 10 years. It starts attracting penalties.
Okay.
In fact, you can bring in
You can bring it in.
25-year
Yes.
vehicle, but the law
You pay more.
Yes.
Okay.
The law would
Okay.
deal with you. So it is not motivating to bring in vehicles that have gone beyond 10 years.
Beyond 10 years. Okay. So now we've all agreed that one of the reasons people still flout the laws is lack of education, or they are unaware of what the law says.
And then the side that they are business people who are bent on making their monies.
Well, that's their business, because the law will deal with you, right? More seriously, let's look at the systems and technologies that you use. I know ICOMS is there. ICOMS will give you all the details about the vehicle and everything, even before it gets here. Aside ICOMS, which other systems do you use? Which other technologies do you use to actually aid your work so you can effectively, execute your job?
So we rely more of intelligence, and as of right now, we have this advanced passenger information and advanced cargo information. That's tools that are being deployed to identify information about travelers. So when you are leaving here, perhaps you took one bag, and when you are coming in, you are bringing 10 bags. These tools are able to help us identify how you went and how you came in. And through rummaging, we are able to identify these prohibited and restricted items through physical exam. There are officers who can tap the side of a vehicle, and the sound will just tell them that things are being hidden here. And most of the time, when they are able to bring them out, they find these prohibited and restricted items from them.
Okay. So in the event that you seize these products or the goods, how do you handle it? I mean, the handling of the goods itself, because there are people who complain that they've seized my goods, and even before investigation, I can't find this, they've opened my container and all of that. Let's look at how you handle these restricted goods.
So the goods that might not necessarily be restricted, if you bring in goods and after 21 days you have not been able to clear them, the law says the goods go to auction. They are bound to be auctioned. So that is a bit different from goods that are restricted.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah. For restricted items, when we cost restricted items, we detain them because you are supposed to bring a permit or a license for it to be cleared.
Yeah.
So we detain for first 30 days.
Okay.
If within these 30 days you are not able to bring in the necessary documents for you to be able to clear them, then we seize. After seizure 30 days, if you still don't come, then we forfeit to the state. For prohibited goods, they are outright seizure.
There's nothing like we are going to investigate, or we are giving you these days. The moment you get hold of it.
Prohibited goods, the one outright seizure.
So normally what do? You burn them? Or
depending on what items, we destroy them.
Okay.
Depending on what
So
items.
I want to know the items, which category and what really happens to those items?
So just like the Pampers, it was of no use to anybody. It's substandard, so it has to be destroyed. If you bring food items that are not safe, they will be destroyed immediately.
Okay.
If you bring in goods like chemicals, that's after, because you didn't bring in the necessary permits or certificates, those ones can be auctioned and to companies that are approved of their usage.
Okay.
So normally EPA, when it comes to chemicals, EPA comes in to help in the disposal of these goods.
That's very interesting. But there's this, there are many times that people blame custom. Number one, they say that custom intentionally or you deliberately delay some of these goods so that you collect money from the owners. A whole lot of accusations, okay? But you say you're doing your job. How do you ensure compliance, okay, without actually affecting trade? Because one of your mandates is also to help facilitate trade. So how do you juggle between the two?
Section 50 of our laws allows for pre-entry clearance of goods. The ICAMS has these two pre-manifest declaration. It allows importers or declarants to bring in their goods, start the processing. When they get in touch with their trade documents, they can start the processing till payment of duties, even before the goods arrive. This helps for them to clear their goods so that they will not incur any delay or any demurrage that normally comes up. If they are able to use that PMD, they will be able to clear their goods without any, and no customs officer intentionally delays goods just because they want to delay goods. Most of the time, delays come in when their documents, the trade documents that they bring are not up or they have questionable issues around them. Then we do some research to get to ensure that the documents that they are bringing to us are really compliant with our laws.
Well, I know that the law also talks about sanctions and penalties for some of these. Tell me about those sanctions.
So when you go to section 121, it says that a person who contravenes a provision of this act for which a specific punishment or penalty is not provided commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of no more than 2,500 penalty units or to a term of imprisonment of not more than 5 years or to both.
Okay.
When you go to the 2, it says where a person imports or is involved in importing any prohibited or restricted goods contrary to the prohibition or restriction, whether the goods are unloaded or not, it comes to that person commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of no more than 300% of the duty or tax evaded, or to a term of imprisonment of not less than 5 years and not more than 10 years. And in addition, all goods in respect of which the offense was committed is liable to forfeiture to the state.
Okay.
So I will entreat our trading partners to go through this. Like we said earlier, ignorance of the law is never an excuse. The laws has been, they should try and get acquainted with these things so that you all be free to conduct legitimate business.
What would you describe as your biggest challenge in enforcing the law?
Because we have some, quote unquote, men and women who are into business who don't really have the, if you ask me, the country at heart. We have such people ensuring that they will bring us documents that are not, they don't bring in original trade documents.
Yeah.
And it makes the work difficult for us.
But how do they even get away with that? Like, they don't bring in original documents, and some do get away with it?
So when we get them, the law allows that we use alternative methods in valuing and checking their trade documents. So when we get them, we are able to bring them to line to be able to ensure that we exert the correct duties that we need.
So that's what you describe as your biggest challenge when they bring in
yes, because
fake
if
documents.
they don't bring in fake, we will be clearing, we won't have much challenge.
But how prevalent is this, like smuggling and concealment, or let me say attempt to bring in these restricted goods? How prevalent is it?
So we hear of customs accosting them almost every day.
Every day?
Almost every day.
Wow.
Almost every day. We accost them. Our preventive sectors are accosting them every time. And because of that, it tells us that there are many more people who are trying to smuggle, but we keep telling them that all days for thief man, one day for master.
Yeah.
We'll get them.
We have some comments you've been sharing with us next.
Kwame Elom Komlaga from ES Companies Tema says, why does customs change HS codes on items when the manufacturers of those items have provided their own HS codes?
What I can say is that we're using, so some HS codes that were in 2017, the HS might have changed in the 2022 HS. So that can happen. Other HS are opinions. So when you see the goods, the manufacturer might have put it at a certain tariff line, but opinions can determine that it's not supposed to be there. So I would ask him to draw closer to the classification unit at head office. They can help him solve his problem better.
Eye on Port returns after this break.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena. You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Serene Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately. There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
Scam alert. It has come to the attention of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority that certain unscrupulous individuals are fraudulently using the name of the authority to deceive and defraud members of the public. These individuals have circulated a post on social media falsely claiming that GPHA is currently conducting a recruitment exercise and urging the public to engage with them. We wish to state emphatically that GPHA is not conducting any recruitment exercise at this time, and the authority has not authorized any individuals or entities to advertise or facilitate such activities on its behalf. We urge the general public to disregard these fraudulent messages and to verify any official communication directly through our authorized channels. GPHA remains committed to transparency and will always communicate legitimate opportunities through its official website and recognized media platforms. Implementation of axle load regulation by Burkina Faso. The attention of all stakeholders, particularly those engaged in the transit trade, is drawn to the decision by the government of Burkina Faso through the Burkina Faso Road Safety Authority to commence the implementation of UEMOA Regulation number 14/2005 CM UEMOA effective September 1, 2025. This regulation seeks to harmonize standards and procedures for controlling the gross weight, axle load, and dimensions of heavy goods vehicles across UEMOA member states. Transitional measures. Effective September 1, 2025, all non-compliant trucks, domestic and foreign, will be denied access to Burkina Faso's road network. All stakeholders are strongly advised to take note of this directive and comply accordingly. This enforcement will also apply to transit vehicles using Ghanaian ports en route to Burkina Faso in order to prevent delays or denial of entry at the border.
Welcome back from the break. Now, news and activities happening within the port and maritime industry next.
The acting Chief Justice of Ghana, His Lordship Justice Paul Bafuboni, has emphasized the crucial role of the judiciary in ensuring fairness and confidence in Ghana's transport and logistics sector following the passage of the Ghana Shippers Authority Act 2024. His speech was delivered on his behalf by Grace Opon-Dolphy, Chief State Attorney, at the opening of the 15th Maritime Law Seminar for judges of the Superior Courts held in Accra. The two-day seminar, jointly organized by the Ghana Shippers Authority and the Judicial Training Institute, brought together judges, legal experts, and industry stakeholders to deepen understanding of maritime, logistics, and international trade law. Delivering the acting Chief Justice's address, Grace Opon-Dolphy said, the successful implementation of the Ghana Shippers Authority Act 1122, requires a judiciary that is conversant with its provisions and capable of interpreting them with clarity, precision, and fairness. She cautioned that excessive interference in private contracts could hinder trade efficiency and urged judges to ensure that decisions promote fairness, due process, and investor confidence. The acting Chief Justice, through his representative, also called for continuous capacity building, enhanced collaboration with regulatory bodies, and the establishment of specialized courts for trade and logistics cases.
The Ghana Shippers Authority Act 2024 is a bold step forward. It reflects the will of the state to bring structure, discipline, and fairness to the critical sector of our economy. But like all good laws, it will require diligent implementation, ongoing oversight, and principled adjudication.
On his part, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Professor Ransford Jampo, described the judiciary and the authority as twin pillars of Ghana's commercial justice system. He said the authority is finalizing a legislative instrument to operationalize the Shippers Act and called for judicial input to ensure fairness and practical enforcement.
The GSA is on the verge of finalizing a new legislative instrument to operationalize its new act. The LI, when passed by Parliament, will enhance the practical effect of the regulatory intent of our act. As was the case with the act, the draft is going through the motions, including a review by the Office of the Honorable Attorney General to ensure that it is fit for purpose. It is our considered belief that input drawn from your well of judicial experience would be valuable in ensuring a fair and implementable LI.
The seminar, now in its 15th year, forms part of efforts to strengthen the adjudication of maritime and transport-related cases and promotes Ghana's vision of becoming a competitive logistics hub under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. The Ghana Chamber of Shipping, in collaboration with the Women in Maritime of West and Central Africa, WIMOCA Ghana, and the Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, WISTA Ghana, has rounded off this year's Pink October celebrations with a breast cancer awareness event held at the GPHA Towers in Tema. The event, which was supported by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ghana Maritime Authority, International Maritime Hospital IMA, and other maritime sector agencies and companies, brought together women and men from across the industry to reaffirm their commitment to the fight against breast cancer. Speaking at the ceremony, the General Manager of Procurement at GPHA and President of the Port Ladies Association PLAS, Philippa Amanda Ama, urged women to show solidarity with colleagues going through breast cancer journeys and to make regular self-examinations and screenings a lifelong commitment.
Over the years, our interest in this kind of awareness is waning, and I find it sad because it is when you relax that then the disease will take control and cause more harm. So please, let's be our sisters' keepers. Let's ensure that we are creating awareness. We are reminding people, anytime there's an opportunity, bring a friend. Don't come alone and go and learn about it or learn something new alone. Bring a friend.
President of Western Ghana, Gertrude Ohene-Sieni, emphasized the importance of sustaining enthusiasm each year toward bridging the knowledge gap on breast cancer and encouraging early detection among women in the maritime fraternity.
Behind every statistics are real people, and these people are our mothers, our sisters, our friends, and our loved ones. Therefore, it is important that we do this yearly. And therefore, these stories remind us that the breast cancer is not just a medical condition. It is deeply human experience that tests our strength, but also reveals our unity and compassion.
Director of Administration at the Ghana Maritime Authority and President of WIMOCA Ghana, Janet Hotman-Addy, reaffirmed her association's dedication to uplifting women within and beyond the maritime sector. She urged women to take charge of their health and to use platforms like Pink October to spread awareness and empower one another.
While the precise cause of breast cancer remains unknown, what we do know is that prevention and vigilance matters. Let us eat well, live consciously, and commit to regular exercise, even if it's just a short walk each day. As professionals and institutions, we must also foster workplace wellness culture, where health checks are normalized and compassion becomes a policy.
The Executive Secretary of the Ghana Chamber of Shipping, Gloria Nora Bamfoa, highlighted the need for maritime professionals to prioritize their health, noting that regular medical checkups are as essential as the work they do in sustaining the nation's blue economy.
We must ask, what are the real-time solutions that can dismantle the barriers preventing early detection? I'll say first, we have to advocate for mandatory paid screening leaves. We must lobby our industry members in the Ministry of Health to normalize preventive health. I am calling for a policy that mandates 2 paid protected days per year, specifically for preventive health checks, including mammograms, clinical breast exams, and gynecological checks.
Delivering the health talk, Dr. Edward Boateng, consultant surgeon at the International Maritime Hospital, outlined what breast cancer is, its causes, and the importance of awareness. He also detailed IME's ongoing outreach initiatives aimed at early detection and public education.
Now, we ask ourselves, a new lump in the breast, if it is cancerous, should it be painful? The good answer is this. Usually, the lumps which are cancerous are not painful until very late in the stages of breast cancer. They are just not painful. So if you find any lump in your breast which is not painful, please don't say that, oh, this is not a painful lump, so I am going to watch it. Come to us quickly and then we'll check it out.
As part of the program, free breast screening was conducted by the IMA medical team, who also demonstrated the proper techniques for self-breast examination, empowering participants to take proactive steps in maintaining their health.
We want to get a firm skill of our breast to be sure we don't miss out on the lamp in any part of the breast. And we are doing it in a circular motion.
A highlight of the program was an inspiring testimony by Suzanne Malik, a 6-year breast cancer survivor who shared her journey of resilience and hope, encouraging others to take breast health seriously.
We have all been told to concentrate on lumps, so your focus has been on just the breast, the protruded part. But breast cancer, from research, it can start from your armpit, and it can even start from your neck area, because your lymph nodes are all around. Mine didn't start with a lump. It didn't start. It started with a chest pain because of the lymph nodes in my chest area.
The event concluded with a call for continuous awareness creation and regular screenings as the maritime community reaffirmed its commitment to promoting women's health and wellness.
Let's take a look at some international port and maritime news.
European ship owners and airlines are urging the European Commission to accelerate the rollout and affordability of clean maritime and aviation fuels through the Sustainable Transport Investment Plan. They call for reinvestment of ETS revenues, priority access to clean fuels, and expanded funding through the EU Innovation Fund. Transport and Environment also stressed the need for stronger support for e-fuels and continuation of the Alternative Fuels Infrastructure Facility to 2027. The new liner Origin, the world's first large wind-propelled cargo ship, completed its maiden Atlantic voyage from France to St. Pierre and Miquelon despite storm damage to one of its sails. The hybrid-powered vessel combines sail and engine propulsion and will proceed to Baltimore after repairs. The 6,300 deadweight ton ship is seen as a prototype for greener shipping, capable of cutting emissions by up to 80%.
It's now time for the phrase of the day.
Hybrid propulsion refers to a system combining wind or renewable energy with traditional engines to improve fuel efficiency and cut emissions.
Let's take a listen to some health and safety tips.
Traffic and movement control. In the port environment, it is essential to clearly mark pedestrian walkways separately from vehicle paths to reduce the risk of accidents. All drivers and equipment operators must strictly follow speed limits and traffic signs within the port area. Reflective cones or barriers should be used to manage movement during loading and unloading operations, ensuring that both workers and vehicles operate safely.
Schedules of vessels in the port, those at anchorage and those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate you may need to know to clear your goods from the port next. That's all for this week's episode of Eye on Port. Thank you for watching and thanks to the entire crew. Join us same time next week.